What if the greatest weapon in your life was also your greatest threat? The same mind that can build your future can destroy your peace. The same imagination that helps you create success can trap you in fear. The same intelligence that solves problems can invent them. And if you've ever felt stuck, anxious, unconfident, or emotionally exhausted, there's a good chance you're fighting a battle against your own mind. Most people believe their biggest obstacle is the outside world, bad luck, bad circumstances, bad people. But the Stoics understood something different. Your life is shaped less by what happens to you and more by what happens inside you. And that's where the danger begins. Because your mind is a double-edged sword. It doesn't only generate solutions, it generates stories. Stories about why you're not good enough, why you'll fail, why people are judging you, why you should wait, why you should quit. And the frightening part? Most of these stories feel true. Think about how many opportunities have been lost because of a thought. Not reality, a thought. A business never started, a conversation never had, a goal never pursued, a risk never taken. Not because failure happened, because the mind predicted failure, and the person obeyed. Marcus Aurelius wrote that our life is what our thoughts make it. Modern psychology has arrived at a similar conclusion. The brain is constantly interpreting reality, but interpretation is not reality. That's a distinction most people never learn. Imagine two people facing the same setback. One sees disaster. The other sees a lesson. One becomes bitter. The other becomes stronger. The event is identical. The interpretation is different. And the interpretation determines the outcome. This is why an uncontrolled mind becomes dangerous. It magnifies fear, exaggerates threats, creates imaginary futures, then convinces you those futures are real. Have you ever noticed how often your fears never happen? You spend days worrying, weeks overthinking, months avoiding action. Then reality arrives and turns out far less terrifying than your imagination predicted. Seneca recognized this nearly 2,000 years ago. He wrote that we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Read that again. Many people are not suffering from reality. They're suffering from mental simulations of reality. And that's a crucial difference. Because if the mind can create unnecessary suffering, it can also create strength. The same imagination that produces fear can produce courage. The same focus that feeds anxiety can fuel discipline. The same thoughts that weaken you can empower you. The question is, who is in control, you or your mind? Most people live as passengers. Every thought becomes a command. Every emotion becomes an order. If they feel fear, they stop. If they feel doubt, they quit. If they feel discomfort, they retreat. But the Stoics trained themselves differently. They learned to observe thoughts without immediately obeying them. This changes everything. Because a thought is not a fact. A feeling is not a prophecy, and an emotion is not a decision. The moment you understand this, you gain power. Imagine standing outside your own mind, watching thoughts come and go like clouds, some useful, some ridiculous, some helpful, some destructive. You don't have to believe every thought you think. That's one of the most liberating realizations a person can have. Now let's make this practical. The next time your mind says you'll embarrass yourself, pause. Ask, is this reality or prediction?
The next time your mind says you're not capable, ask, what evidence actually supports that? The next time fear appears, don't automatically obey it. Examine it, challenge it, question it. Because your mind is an advisor, not a master. And the quality of your life depends on remembering that distinction. Over time, something remarkable begins to happen. You stop reacting to every emotion. You stop believing every negative thought. You stop surrendering your future to imaginary scenarios. You become calmer, stronger, more deliberate. People notice, not because you've become louder, but because you've become harder to shake. That's real confidence. Not the absence of negative thoughts, the ability to remain in control despite them. And that is the hidden lesson the Stoics understood. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your greatest enemy. The blade cuts in both directions. Left unchecked, it creates fear, hesitation, and suffering. Mastered, it creates clarity, resilience, and power. The difference isn't intelligence, it's discipline. Because freedom begins the moment you stop believing every thought that enters your head. And strength begins the moment you decide that your mind will serve you instead of rule you.